All right, you're going to bed sometimes with your mind just full of things you need to do the next day. Or maybe you're laying in bed and you're like, oh, I forgot to do that. Or I need clutter can prevent you from sleeping well. It can make you feel overwhelmed, have a lot of anxiety. And today we're going to be talking about brain clutter and what to do about it. Things that can help you get that mental clutter a little bit better organized. Well, I am Lorraine Brock, professional organizer and owner of a company called Get Organized, where we actually go into your home and actually physically organize your spaces. And right now, garages are a big thing. Wonderful weather outside. We can get storage maximized. We can declutter, take donations, and so many services. Please contact us and we'd be absolutely honored to get you organized. So on to today's topic of brain clutter. Well, this month we've really been focusing on ways to help you deal with different types of things in your life, all geared towards decluttering. And we often forget about this. We forget about this when we're thinking about decluttering. We're thinking about the closet or the garage or the kitchen and how disorganized it can be. But what about up here? What about all the hundreds of things that come in and out of our mind all day long? And they can be happening while you're driving. They can be happening while you're washing dishes, getting ready for the morning, watching TV. I mean, the brain doesn't stop, right? And so I'm going to give you some tips today on organizing that brain clutter, because be honest with you, this is one of the best tips if you're trying to get organized anywhere in your life or your home or your business, is first start with the brain. And while I'm not degreed in this, I have some real practical advice to give you that will definitely work if you'll follow the directions. All right, so I have in my call them bookmarkers, but our company had made these up a few years back, and they are visual reminders that we give our clients when we're working with them on their time management, or in this case, their brain clutter, right? So what I want to make sure is you understand is this is only a solution if you follow all the steps. And let me give you an example of what's on this card here, and then we're going to talk. One of the things, let's say that you have a wedding to go to, or let's say you got actually an invitation in the mail, and the invitation you got in today's mailbox, but the wedding is not going to be till November 15th. You have to decide if you're going to go to the wedding, which let's just say you do, and you put it on your calendar for November 15th. Well, most people would do that, right? They would take that invitation, put it on some kind of calendar, and maybe pin the invitation on the front of the refrigerator. And that's pretty much what's ended up happening. But what about all the other things that need to be done to go to that wedding? Maybe you want an outfit. Maybe your husband is a groomsman and he needs to go get sized for his tux. Maybe it's an out-of-town wedding and you want to, or you're going to stay or want to stay at a, maybe you need to find childcare. And let's not even talk about getting a gift. Okay, so those are just things that happen in between getting the invitation and going to the wedding. So there's this gap here that most people don't plan. They put the wedding on their calendar. They sort of pause there. They don't do the rest of what the thinking and planning that needs to be done. So you're laying in bed at night and you're like, oh, I have to call about daycare. I got to go get a dress. I've got to get my nails done. And you just do this. And this is just for one thing, like a wedding that you're going to. Think about all the other things that go on in your life. And that aha moment when you've realized you've waited to the last minute to plan and maybe even schedule getting that task done. So the number one thing I want to tell you with getting the brain clutter out of to dump it. You've got to take all that's here and you've got to dump it somewhere. Now that somewhere could be a digital app. It can be a physical notebook that you put things in that you're writing down. Either way, you have to get it out of here and get it onto something else. That's the first step. Don't rely on your brain to remember all the things that you need to do. Our short-term memory only holds about 10 items. And so you have to think about it when you have more than 10 items, there's a high chance you're going to start forgetting. You're going to try to keep remembering what you keep trying to forget. And it's just really needs a plan. It really needs an action plan that will help you better get to these tasks. Nothing's going to be perfect, but it will be better. So on here, on these little bookmarkers that we've put together, one side of this here is going to talk about where you can take what we call a brain dump. And these are using little moments of time that you probably have wasted, or maybe you don't think about doing a brain dump at these moments. This is going to give you some starting places you can actually take a brain dump. And from that moment that you take the brain dump, then you go to the other side. Now, it can be a few hours later, it can be the next day, but once that brain dump has been completed, and you'll know, you'll sort of feel good about, you'll start feeling good about things. You won't go to bed so much with things on your mind. You've actually written them down, placed them somewhere that you'll be able to act upon them. But don't just keep it there. We're not building a to-do list. We're building a brain dump list. A to-do list is normally short-term in nature. It's like what I'm running out and doing errands today, or it might be what I'm doing for a party or an event that I'm. To-do lists are different than brain dumps. Brain dumps are that, like now, and it's also next week, next month, Christmas planning, New Year's planning, next spring, things that come to your mind that you need to take care of, even though it might be quite early in your mind. If you think about it, dump it. All right. Then the other side here on this orange side, it's all actual brain dump. And we've made it really, really simple for you. From get a notepad or open a notepad app. I mean, that's how simple we have 8 steps on here that tells you exactly what you need to do. Now, I always tell our clients, let us give you like 3 or 4 of these, because you're going to need visual reminders for a while to remember to do a brain dump. It's not going to come automatically to you. You've never done this before. It's not a to-do list. Remember, it's a brain dump list. And when you've done your brain dump, you need to act on the next step and now take it and put it on your calendar. You're like, Lorraine, my list is like 20 items long. I know. That means those 20 items are going to need to be scheduled when you have time to do them. You're just not automatically going to wake up one day, most of us, and say, let's remodel the garage. Let's organize the garage. Let's build that bench I've been wanting to build forever for the patio. It's just not going to happen. Chances are so slim. So take your brain dump list, follow these instructions, and you will improve the ability to complete and get tasks done. There's a difference between planning, which is normally kept up here. Oh, I plan to go clean out that garage. I plan to make a winter garden. I plan to do a budget. But there's a difference, planning versus scheduling. Total difference. And while I'm not going to go over all of these, I will say the next step after you've dumped your brain, and you're going to do this multiple times per week. Every other night, it needs to be done multiple times per week. And then take that list, and based on the instructions here, you're going to start scheduling, putting them on the calendar, maybe 2 or 3 weeks out, maybe tomorrow, maybe next month, of when you're going to address that, even if it's a quick phone call. Don't think that you don't forget even the things that take 5 minutes. So how can you figure out what's on here? If you will leave a message down below that you would like one of these, and if you will private message us your address, we will mail a couple out of these for each of you that request one. And this will be good until next Tip Tuesday, so you have 7 days to request one, and we'll make sure. And again, leave one in the car, leave one by your bedside, leave one in the kitchen, leave them with our visual reminders. Oh, I've got to do my brain dump. And this will really help you take this clutter and actually put it on a place that you can actually implement it. And you have a much higher chance of getting it done when it's scheduled and just not planned. There's a difference, planning versus scheduling. So leave a message down below. It's going to let us know that you want one, and then private message us your address and we will get them out to you. Also, by making a comment down below, even if you don't want one of these bookmarkers, if you make any comment down below or on any of our Tip Tuesdays from the month of September, you'll be entered into a chance to win this. And this is the last Tip Tuesday that we're giving, marketing this to give away. So we will announce the winner of this next Tip Tuesday. So to share it with your friends, make comments on any of our Tip Tuesdays for the month of September, and you'll be entered in for this. And this is, as you can see, it's a keyboard cleaner, and it actually works. Personal experience here. So love that we always give away some really goodies every month, and we'll also give away these. So I'm excited. So hopefully you've learned something about doing a brain dump and actually decluttering this area and not just the physical spaces in your home. Well, I'm Lorraine Brock with helping you get your home, business, and life completely organized. See you on next Tip Tuesday.